Joining us now, Miles Morin. He's the executive director of the Virginia Petroleum Council. Miles, good to have you with us, man.
And good to be with you again.
Tell you what, right in the middle of a very hotly contested presidential election, let's talk a little bit about the Mountain Valley Pipeline. I know I spent a lot of time on the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. Tell us, let's just start with it. Give us a general overview right now, because I got to get these pipelines going. I got to get people fired up about them, because pipelines are the way to get the natural gas and the energy that we need throughout central and southeast Virginia and other parts of Virginia in order to get manufacturing jobs, and I'm all about jobs. Give us an update. What's going on right now in the energy markets, Miles, recently that's spurring Virginia to attempt to build two major pipelines right now?
Sure. Well, you're exactly right, first of all, about getting natural gas here so we can expand the economy, get more manufacturing. That's critical. The reason that we're going to build two pipelines in Virginia is because of what we like to call the American energy renaissance. And it's just a factor of having paired hydraulic fracturing, which has been around for about 50 years, with a new technology, horizontal drilling, where they can drill down several miles and then go sideways and frack down underneath in these shale formations, and they can pull out natural gas and oil that they could never reach before. So our reserves in the United States of natural gas and of oil have just gone through the roof. I mean, it's astronomical. We have, decades and decades and decades, and in terms of natural gas, just way more than anyone else in the world. Saudi Arabia, Russia, we have so much more resources than they do, and it's made the United States really the world superpower when it comes to energy. So that's why all of your listeners are having, much cheaper oil prices when they go to fill up their tanks. That's why their heating costs have gone down, electric costs have gone down, because natural gas is used so much in our electric generation, and it's being used more and more because of the price and because of the abundance. So the reason we're building these pipelines is because we've got this cheap resource. It's clean burning, and we've got so much of it. It really is the only thing that makes sense.
Well, look, without a doubt, we got to get these pipelines going, and it is the only thing that makes sense, because otherwise you don't have the energy sources you need to spur manufacturing and job growth in Virginia. You look at even the Chesapeake area that I'm in, and you look at the Dominion Boulevard area, the development there of manufacturing opportunities is off the charts. We can get the pipeline going down, because they can tap right into the energy, and we can create thousands of jobs right in southern Chesapeake at the southern end of the state. So the opportunity is there, Miles, without a doubt. Now, give us your view. What are some of the economic benefits for Virginia from these projects, simply beyond the job growth and creation that I've met, as far as just average consumers that, maybe they're saying, well, I don't know about a pipeline. I'm retired. I'm on a fixed income. It doesn't matter to me if we have manufacturers or not. What are some of the other benefits, Miles, of getting these pipelines moving?
Sure. Well, I think the first thing is going to be lower energy costs for consumers of energy. So you're already saving hundreds of dollars on your heating bill, electric bill, gas bill every year because of the shale revolution. We want to see that continue. We want to see, we're going to see 3.5% annual growth in energy needs in our region for the next 25 years or so. That's about 165% growth between now and 2035. So we're going to need this gas to meet that growth, to keep energy prices low. If you're on fixed income, you can't afford to have your fixed costs, electricity, heating, those types of things, keep on eating up a bigger and bigger portion of your income. Then when it comes to other benefits, you've got local taxes. So there's going to be millions and millions of dollars each year poured into local counties where these pipelines, Mountain Valley and Atlantic Coast, go through, simply because of property taxes. On top of that, whenever you have a growing economy, it's going to help anyone in the state. And so, what we hear is that when manufacturers want to come to a state or to a city, to a region, they first have to figure out whether that region can support them in terms of the energy that they need. And energy it's so critical for any sort of industry and manufacturing. So it's exactly as you've said, job growth, tax revenues, opportunities. It's going to help everyone.
Okay, so let's get to the opposition. Now, you look right now, by the way, we're with Miles Morin, and Miles is the executive director at the Virginia Petroleum Council. Miles, let's get to the opposition and look at North Carolina these past couple of days, trying to get a pipeline in there, all sorts of protesters. Many of them now we're finding out got shipped in. They're not even from North Carolina. They're not from the area. They're paid by George Soros. They apply for a job. They get like an hourly wage. They get travel expenses to go and be, I guess this is the new trend now, to be a professional protester. Maybe they'll end up having a college major for that or something ridiculous. But what is I mean, you look at North Carolina, they're disrupting things. These are professional people that, they punch a clock every day and they get mileage and meals to go protest. They don't even know what the hell they're protesting. And they're causing a ruckus in North Carolina. What's the opposition centered now in Virginia? How would you define it?
Okay, well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to mention the same thing. I think what I'm hearing from people, local people in the counties, is that a lot of the opposition in Virginia is from out of state as well. So we're seeing some of the same tactics here. I know that on at least one occasion, they brought people in from protesters of the North Dakota Access Pipeline just to speak and to kind of rouse up the protesters here in Virginia. You've got people, local folks in various parts of the state that have problems with the pipeline going through their property, and I understand that. That's reasonable, and that's something that hopefully they can work out with ACP and with MVP. But then you've got people who just want all fossil fuels to stay in the ground and for us to never use them ever. And it's totally unrealistic. We couldn't sustain the world's population in terms of the food we need, the clothes we need, basic medical care without petroleum and coal and fossil fuels.
That's the thing. It seems like we've got three pockets of opposition. One is the people that George Soros pays to bus in or train in or fly into areas that is a complete joke, okay? They don't mean anything. The second group is those that don't want it in my backyard. Basically, what's the acronym for that? NIMBY? NIMBY, right?
NIMBY, that's
NIMBY,
right.
That's it. Not in my backyard, which is, it's go ahead with the pipeline. Just don't put it on my land, in my neighborhood, in my property, in my backyard, so that everybody understands that. That's the second phase of it. And the third phase is, as you mentioned, those are just any fossil fuel at all. It doesn't matter whether it's by pipeline, by truck, by train, whatever it is, they don't want it, period, right? So
that's right.
Of that opposition, how do you break through that to get these pipelines a reality? The Mountain Valley Pipeline in Southwest Virginia, the Atlantic Coast Pipeline in Central and Southeast Virginia. How do we get this to be a reality? Miles, how do we break through that opposition?
Sure. Well, fortunately, the decision lies with FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and it's supposed to be, and it's supposed to be based on fact. It's supposed to be based on public need and convenience, and both of these projects meet that easily if we're talking about just looking at the facts. And so if they do their job, they should grant certificates for both these projects. The difficulty is that the opposition is trying to make this a political issue. They're trying to politicize it. They're trying to pressure these groups. I mean, I've heard examples of protesters going outside of people's personal homes and protesting there. And it's just not the way that this is supposed to be done. It's supposed to be fact-based. I'm very confident that both projects will get through as long as the decision making is based on the facts and the need and the environmental concerns, all of which have been addressed.
What is your organization, the Virginia Petroleum Council? What is your organization, Miles, doing to make this a reality?
Well, we're trying to educate as many people as we can. We are, meeting with legislators. We're meeting with people who have any sort of local part to play in this. And really, we're doing radio interviews like this. We're trying to make sure that everyone out there understands the importance of natural gas to our economy, to the world, really. And I think that's probably the most important thing that we can do as an advocacy group.
Okay, so if people want more information, I know we got a lot going on. I'm asking people to get involved on Election Day and things like that. But, Miles, we got to get these pipelines done. And I don't know how long. I've been like the chief advocate in media for these in Virginia for a very long time. And it's so close. We're almost there. But we got to get these done because it means jobs. It means energy. It means progress. It means manufacturing. It means good paying jobs for middle America. It means cheaper cost of energy. So whether you're looking for a job, you're looking for opportunity, you're looking for the economy in your area, you're a small business person or you're a manager, you own a business or manage a business, this is going to bring people and growth to the area. If you're on a fixed income or you're struggling to make ends meet, this is going to help your energy costs go down, not up, right?
That's right.
Biggest no-brainer in the history of Virginia. We got to get these pipelines in. Everybody knows me. I never met a pipeline I didn't like. I want energy. I want natural gas. It's the right thing to do. It gets things moving. We got to get things moving. Miles, people want more info. Where do they go?
I think you can go to, for the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, you can get at dom.com/ACP AC Pipeline. For the Mountain Valley Pipeline, they've got a similar website. And I don't have it with me right now, but you can just search Mountain Valley Pipeline, and it'll come up. They've got a ton of good information on there, and each one of those sends out regular updates. So you can sign up for their email updates to figure out what's going on.
All right, that's it. We want to thank Miles Morin for being with us, one of the gurus at the Virginia Petroleum Council. He's the executive director. Big title you got there, Miles. Miles is big time. Comes on our show
Thanks,
talking
John.
about pipeline. Hey, Miles, keep up the good work. You're a good guy. I'm sure we'll be seeing you over the next several. And look, Miles, don't forget to vote. You know, there's two candidates in this race, Miles. I know you're nonpartisan. One of them loves pipelines. The other, Miles, not so much. I'm just saying. Have a great day. You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network.